Natalie, your teen librarian at the Wichita Falls Public Library, here for another Teen STEAM. Today we will be trying out the rubber egg experiment. For this experiment, you will need a raw egg, a glass or jar, and white vinegar. I have 2 jars and 2 raw eggs because I'm going to see the difference between letting it sit for 1 day versus 3 days. I'll explain this later on. You want to carefully place an egg in the jar, so we're going to do this as careful as we possibly can. We don't want to break the egg. Alright, the egg is in here, and you're going to get your white vinegar, and you're going to pour it until the egg is submerged. The egg is now submerged or completely covered in vinegar, and I'm going to label each jar so I know which one I'm going to leave in for 1 day versus 3 days. We're just going to see if the longer it's in there, if it's going to have more of a chemical reaction, and if it's going to be more bouncy or not as bouncy. And I'm just going to do the same thing with the next one. It has only been a few minutes and you can already see a reaction occurring. This is due to the eggshell and the vinegar. The eggshell is made of calcium carbonate, which is reacting to being in contact with the vinegar, which is a weak acid. This causes the bubbles to form. These bubbles are carbon dioxide, which will occur with any form of calcium carbonate reacting to the vinegar. It has been 1 day since we started this experiment. This is what they look like now. Next, for the one that we were only leaving in there for 1 day, we will need to take it to a sink, remove the egg from the glass, and rinse it under tap water. When you're rinsing it, you will need to rub the outside of the egg gently to get the white film off. This should leave you with a translucent egg. If it's translucent, that means the shell is all gone and all that is left is a thin membrane. This experiment is possible because the eggshell is selectively permeable, which means that it allows some but not all molecules or ions to pass through. The vinegar is able to pass through the membrane due to osmosis, which is the diffusion of solvent molecules through a selectively permeable membrane. Most of my shell came off. A little bit did stay on, but this was only in the vinegar for 1 day. Next, you'll just want to lift it a few inches above your surface. If you don't want to make a mess, you can put it in a container to bounce off of or have a plate underneath, and then you'll just drop it and watch it bounce. If you try to bounce it higher, it might break, so you'll want cleaning materials around, like soap and or a paper towel. We're still going to do the other egg for 3 days just to see if it makes a difference. It is now day 3 for our second egg. We're going to wash off the remains of the eggshell and see if the 3 days versus 1 day makes a difference in this experiment. All of the eggshell came off of the 3-day egg, so we just need to see if it can still bounce or if it will bounce better. I tried bouncing the egg 2 or 3 inches off of the surface. It broke immediately, so now we know that 3 days is too much to leave the egg in the vinegar, and 1 or 2 days should work better. Do y'all have any idea why it broke like this? If you do, make sure to leave a comment on our Facebook page. For the rubber egg experiment, we have tried 1 day versus 3 days. Unfortunately, I was trying to get a good angle and did not get the 3-day egg exploding on impact on the table. So we can assume that 2 days should be fine, and we know for sure that 1 day still lets the egg bounce on the table without breaking. If you want to try further steps in experimenting with different factors with the rubber egg experiment, you can try using soda or lemon juice instead of vinegar, and you can try different types of eggs instead of just the white large egg that I used for my experiment. If you'll try this at home, let me know, and I'll see you guys next time.